All righty, I believe we are live.
Yes, we are. I could see it on the left, top left. It says live.
Oh, okay, great. Let me see if I can find my Zoom. Here we go. All right, well, welcome, Ismael Perez. We are so glad to have you here today. We want to thank you for coming and spending some time with us.
Thank you, Chelsea. It is
Yeah, thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you. So we have Ismael Perez here. He is a cosmic ambassador, galactic historian, author. We see him everywhere. We see a lot of people have purchased this book. He's got a lot of great reviews, and I'm just making my way through it slowly. It's pretty meaty. So we're so glad to have you. And I think what we're going to do is just go ahead and ask some questions that I have for my audience and a few questions from me, and then give you the floor to kind of give you a chance to just say whatever message is on your heart or whatever it is you want to share with the collective.
Sounds good.
All right. Sounds awesome. Okay. Well, tell me, how is your day going, first of all, while I pull up these questions?
My day's going fine. I get up early in the morning. I do a workout. After my workout, I come home, and for the most part, I either have an interview at 8 or 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. But today I had technical difficulties, so I had to reschedule that one. So yeah, my day's going great. This is my second interview for the day.
Awesome. Okay, well, we are happy you are here. Okay, well, I'll just get a couple questions out of the way here. Can you briefly discuss how you open the heart chakra?
Through a lot of meditation and being a hermit. I isolated myself from people when I was supposed to be in my 20s. When I was in my 20s, when I was supposed to be having the life, that's when people are going to bars or going to clubs, or in their 20s are meeting people. It's like a phase where we all go through as a social butterfly. Well, instead of doing that, I just went within, and I secluded myself from society all throughout my 20s, all throughout my 30s. I just kept to myself, and through just meditation and inner pondering, I was able to open up my high heart chakra.
Awesome. And I heard you discuss this about opening the Kundalini, and that is how you activate your light body. Would you mind expanding on that a little bit?
Sure. So I've been practicing an ancient technique called Kriya Kundalini Yoga, which is a combination of visualization, intonation, and breathing to stimulate the different energy centers, the chakras, and aligning the chakras with the higher self, connecting it with the inner core of the earth, and becoming really a conduit of energy coming from the above and below, as we are in the middle ground. And that's how I was able to process a lot of this information, which allowed me to actually tap into my higher self. And then once you do that, you're able to access any information you want, because your higher self is connected to infinite intelligence. It is the aspect of source that is also you at the highest level of reality, since we are all, in a way, source in embodiment as a result of that.
Great. So, and you were also talking about with the Kundalini, how you're able to move the energy up your spine. And then as it goes up your spine, you're able to have these kind of awakenings, and then kind of, I think you said when you get all the way to the top is when you're able to transition to your light body. Did I hear that correctly?
No, I align with my higher self. Yeah, if I were to transition into my light body, I would cease to exist in the third dimension.
Okay.
And I would pop into the fifth dimension. So when I'm aligning with my higher self, all my abilities, my channels are open. I'm constantly communicating with the galactics, with the ascended masters, with the angels. My abilities, my intuition is totally enhanced. I'm able to read people very well. I'm able to sense things before they happen. But that's only if I'm in that state of mind, So that's how I'm able to download and get information.
Okay. And when you get into that state of mind, maybe I missed it. Is that where you center yourself, you sit down and you kind of activate this within yourself?
Correct. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, and that was the time you also said that you kind of every evening you kind of sit in your chair in the dark and you let your day subside and just give yourself some quiet space. Is it similar to that or is that different?
That's part of my routine. Yeah, to kind of like unwind from my daily activity and just kind of be back in myself, in my inner being.
That's good. I could probably use some of that, but I have a 3-year-old toddler, so it's difficult to get these moments. All right. I pulled this up here. Okay, so we have someone that says, I'm feeling a tingling sensation on the back of my hands, and I hear light clicking sounds in my right ear. These both come and go from time to time. Do you know why?
If you're feeling a sensation and tingling in your right hemisphere of your body or in your arm only. She said her arm?
She said the back of her hands, she
The
hears
back of her
light
hand.
clicking sounds in her right ear.
That could be because she's becoming upgraded, and she's starting to shift from a third dimensional vehicle, which was very limited in consciousness, into a fifth dimensional vehicle, which is almost ready to be fully intact. So those are probably just symptoms of her reconnecting with other dimensions and her spirit guides and of course her star family. So they're probably trying to communicate with her.
Okay, great. And I also heard you discuss too, having a sore lower back and kind of just these stiff muscles that can also be part of the ascension process. Is that right?
Yes, those are all physical symptoms. The symptoms vary. You could also have emotional symptoms and mental symptoms as well.
Okay.
They all vary.
I think I'm experiencing all of the above. Okay. Um, so we have someone who is wondering if they will ever meet parallel versions of ourselves in parallel timelines. I said I actually dream in parallel timelines right now. I feel because what I'm dreaming, it feels like memories, but it's still like my life and the people, but it's just different situations. And I said, have you experienced dreams as though they were memories? And they said, not quite a dream. It may sound strange, but I've always had a brother on a parallel dimension. In another parallel, my parents had another kid. And at times I feel connected with him. I feel like I know him. So they were wondering if they could meet them if these dimensions collide.
Absolutely. And that's what's actually happening. The reason the multiverse exists is because we're part of the refraction process where everything just kind of splits into infinite aspects of itself. But as the reverse takes place, it's all collapsing into one timeline. And so as it does that during the convergence process, which we are undergoing, there will come a time where she will meet with her brother and sister from the other parallel universe. Yes, because she still exists in that parallel universe. She's just a different person. So all those timelines, all those parallel realities are going to collapse into one very, very soon.
Do you think that is similar to the solar flash, or is that different?
I think that's what's going to cause the integration, and convergence of multiple timelines into one solar flash.
It's pretty interesting. All right. Okay, and that was for Black Cat Intuitive. So thank you for that, Ismael.
You're welcome.
So let's see. Path Prophet had a couple questions. As we continue to ascend, will night come to an end, or will we be in eternal light?
We will be in eternal lights. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, the nighttime only exists in the state of duality, in worlds of duality. when there is no more duality, because we're leaving the realms of duality as we go into higher levels of planes of existence. Things just become pure light. At that point, we won't even need to sleep anymore. It'll be just, it'll be a 24-hour day without the sleep.
Wow. So we won't need sleep and we won't need food, but we can have it if we want it.
Yes, of course, just for leisure and recreational purposes, gathering of friends and family. You could always have a potluck and a feast, but beyond the fifth dimension, we don't really need food anymore. It's again, they still eat food only when it comes to social gatherings. But there is no more getting up in the morning and having breakfast and your 3 meals in a day. That doesn't exist anymore. That's just part of us having this mortal carbon-based body. Once we have crystalline-based body, then we become immortal.
Do we actually need food? Because the more I study about things that's, everything is like 99.9% space. So do we actually need food to exist?
Not at all. Not at all, because we're energy.
Really?
Yeah, we only need food because we were temporarily stuck in these, in this lower dimension where it requires our bodies to be fed and nourished. But our avatar bodies do not need any food. Our avatar bodies are being sustained by pure universal life force, or what we call chi prana, which is all around us.
Okay. So here in this lifetime, we need food to get us by.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Once we ascend.
It's all temporary. That's part of this, illusionary reality that we're all in, this matrix that's now going to disintegrate any day now.
Yeah, and I recently watched a really fascinating video from Ben Carson. It was part of the Gaia Network, and it was just talking about the true reality, and once you look into science, it really does look like we are in a simulation, and the only thing that makes it exist is our attention. So
absolutely. Perception. That's how powerful we are. If we switch our perception, we are no longer in the simulation, and we're able to control the simulation by switching our perception. But the simulation exists all the way to the 12th dimension. Beyond the 12th dimension is base, solid, eternal reality.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but each simulation gets better and better as we go in higher dimensions or higher planes of reality. So in other words, the simulation and the fifth dimensional realities are obviously they're more heavenly like, and that applies to every dimension beyond the fifth dimension as well. And then once we hit the 13th dimension, then we are part of the eternal realms. At that point, there is no more simulation.
Okay. And then with that solar flash, so is that the point where everybody will go fourth density, and then but the higher beings will go fifth density? Is everybody going fourth density, whether it be negative or positive, when we get to that point?
Only positive. Those that are at least 51% service to others are going to fourth density or fourth dimension.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's going to be a coexistence of fourth dimensional Earth, fifth dimensional Earth, and sixth dimensional Earth after the ascension.
Third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Yes. And depending on where you go, that's going to also determine how much supernatural abilities you will be able to manifest. The higher dimensional you go, the more immortal you become and the more powerful you become. So that explains how there's going to be different levels of upgrades. So not everyone's going to have the same abilities. We're still going to have mortals or humans that live for hundreds of years, perhaps 300 to 500 years will be the new lifespan. That's going to be the great majority of people who are occupying the fourth dimension. So the people in the fifth dimension are going to appear to be superhuman to them, but they're still going to be coexisting in the same space.
So for the fourth dimensional beings, they will have extended life periods, but the third dimensional pretty much will stay the same.
Well, the third dimension is being destroyed because it's a false illusionary reality that was created by Enki, the demiurge, the negative Anunnaki. So that's going to be destroyed. and when the earth goes through the earth changes. And so those that make the shift will be spared and safeguarded from the earth changes. They won't experience the tsunamis and earthquakes.
They won't experience the tsunamis and the earthquakes.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay. What is the meaning or the purpose when you look directly into the sun? And what is the purpose of this?
It is connecting with our Son, which is our Father. The Son is the representation of Christ, the logos here in our local system. It's the local representation of the galactic logos. So when we look into the sun, we're actually communicating with God. The stars are embodiments of the logos of the galaxy, which is God, the mind of God. So each sun is a small refraction of that. So that's why the sun gives life. The sun is, in a way, a living entity. So it is very important to communicate with the sun, especially at this time, because there's a huge exchange of energy that's taking place between our sun and our DNA. Our DNA is also alive. Our cells, you communicate with your cells. You can begin to talk to your body parts. Your organs are alive. Stop seeing your heart, your kidney, and your bladder as just things. Start seeing them as entities with consciousness of their own. And when you begin to believe that, then you could heal anything. You could, self-regulate your body at will. But you have to believe that they are alive, that your cells are also living entities.
That makes sense. And so that would be a great way to pray, right? I mean, if you're looking into the sun or in the presence and you're sending love, and then you're saying, my organs are healed, my liver is healed. For example, if you have liver issues, it's kind of a quick way to manifest, potentially.
Correct. Yes. And that is now being proven through the fields of neuroscience and epigenetics and all these new cutting edge scientific breakthroughs.
Right. And just the other day, I actually experienced this. I had a moment to get out and go have dinner at a restaurant, and I stood on the sidewalk for a moment. I looked at the sun, and for some reason, you're able to look at the sun for longer now without it hurting your eyes, or at least I am. And I was sending that love, and I felt so connected with that love, kind of like a beacon for just a minute. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go in and have dinner. And then about an hour later, one of my favorite musicians walked in the front door, and I got to meet him and, take a picture. And I think that's why that happened. So it's not just our bodies, but it's also just manifesting miracles in general.
Yes, that's how miracles take place. It's when we are acknowledging that everything is alive, your cells, your glands, your organs, the earth you're on, the solar system, the galaxy, and so on and so forth. That's how the miracles take place.
Okay. Is Wetiko or Watiko? Are you familiar with Watiko? It's kind of like these negative self-talk, or these, this negative talk in your head. But they're saying, is Watiko AI?
Absolutely. Anything that is, voicing thoughts in your head that is not part of your team of angels is definitely AI. And I would be careful to discern the difference between what they're putting in your head through your devices, through the Wi-Fi everywhere. The AI has now the ability to read people's thoughts.
Wow.
And so we have to really be able to discern the difference between the voice that the AI is putting in your head, and then the voices that are coming from your higher versions of yourselves or your angelic team.
Right. Yeah, I can see that because I actually I've, I've said things that I don't believe. Like I was thinking it and I said, and I'm like, wait, I don't think that.
Or you could be picking
Um,
up on somebody else's negative thoughts as well. No, it's not all your thoughts are yours. Sometimes because we do share, we are part of a mind hive. We are all connected through telepathy. There's times where we just pick up on other people's thoughts and we think that they are our own. So, we have to have discernment when it comes to that. That's why I always tell people it's best to monitor your thoughts, because if you don't, you're going to be getting sidetracked off your own mission and your own purpose and your own manifestation powers, because that all comes from your thoughts.
awesome. Okay. So this is from John Thomas. Is the afterlife realm still under the matrix control? And he says, my wife passed away 6 months ago, and I wondered where she might be.
To answer the first part of the question, he's probably referring to the trap that was set by the Orions through Marduk and Enki, which was keeping us locked into this third dimension, not allowing us to, access other dimensions or reincarnate in higher dimensions. That has been eliminated already. So the heaven trap is no longer there. I believe that his wife is already in the fifth dimensional Earth waiting for him. So tell John he will see her very soon when the ascension takes place.
That's wonderful to hear. Yeah, he asked, is the afterlife realm still under matrix control? So that's what you're referring to, the kind of the reincarnation trap is no longer.
It's no longer in place.
Okay.
Yeah, we've
And
already taken over the moon, and we've destroyed that technology. We destroyed the black box, and then of course we also destroyed the equivalent here on the earth, known as the cube of Mecca, which was totally corrupt. It was part of the Orion. So when Muslims were out, praying to that cube in Mecca, they were actually praying to the Luciferian Brotherhood, the Luciferian Orions.
the black box, so that's like the cube of Saturn.
Cube of
That's all.
Saturn, yeah, it's all connected to the Order of the Black Sun, which is the brotherhood that has been running the show until recently. Their time is up.
Good. Yeah, it looks like that's what they did with the Twin Towers too. And
Oh,
they just put the two big black voids, or the two big cube voids where the towers were. So I don't know if you have noticed this, but I have noticed, and my dog passed 2 months ago. It was really strange. It was really sudden and unexpected. And there was this attack, and he got better, and he had stitches, and 10 days along, he was healing just fine.
Mhm.
And so he almost died, and he made it, and he pulled through. And then one day I wasn't home, but my husband was home, and there was a big rattlesnake, and he could hear a rattle under the deck. And my dog just dove in under him because he's a protector.
Mhm.
And he got bit by the rattlesnake and had some kind of a allergic reaction, and he was frozen. Like, he was frozen still under the deck, and my husband had to literally like pull up the deck to get him out. And he was barely breathing by the time he took him to the hospital. But it almost seems like he had already committed to go, like he was already leaving. And he pulled through the first attack, but then he just ran under. I've noticed a lot of people's dogs dying, especially I would say in the last like month to 2 months. And a lot of them are like 10, 11, 12. A lot of them are older. And I don't know if this is happening with people too, but have you noticed this increase of dogs dying? Or do you have any kind of speculation why that might be?
I don't know. I mean, they could just be taking on an early ascension, because even dogs are ascending. I have no clue. I'm not a dog expert. I mean, I have a dog, but my dog still has another 10 years to go, hopefully. She's only under 2 years old.
That's good. Well, I thank you for saying I don't know, because a lot of people, their ego doesn't even allow them to say that. So thank you for just
Yeah, but
saying I don't
I
know
know
instead
that
of making up an answer.
is very heartbreaking when your dog dies. I'm talking to people whose dog passed away, and they're still heartbroken over that, and they still miss their dog. So I know that a lot of people are really close to their dogs, almost like if their dogs are their children. So losing a dog is like losing a child. So I could definitely empathize with you on that.
Definitely. And I had this sense that he almost left so that we could stay, type thing.
Well, he also left, acted as a protector from that rattlesnake, because that bite could have been, intended for you or your husband or even your little kids. You have little ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dog, my husband and my son were in the backyard at the time. So yeah.
So it happened because that, the dog took its life in order to preserve you guys' lives. Because that rattlesnake could have gone for anyone else, and that would have not been good. It would have not been good.
My Doodles, rest in peace, Doodles. I love you, Doodles. You think Doodles is watching?
I'm sure your dog is watching, yeah.
I hope so. And as someone else asked about their dog, but yes, we are going to be reunited with our dogs and with our lost family members.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Have you met anyone? Have you met any reptilian or Draco beings? And if so, like what happened or what did they do?
When I was active in the programs, I do remember several encounters with a few of the Draco generals. One of them in particular, by the name of Xandor. Xandor was about 15 foot tall. He was considered a Draco royal. And, I just remember that he intervened in one of the meetings that was taking place within by the Super Federation. And I just remember that he was there letting us, or trying to intimidate us. And so some of us decided to just take him out, and we were genetically enhanced, and luckily we were able to destroy him. And so that turned out into like a skirmish, because he also had other Dracos that came into the fight. So that broke out into a huge war on one of the many satellites that we have around Jupiter. But we don't really know how that Draco got into that meeting. That was supposed to be a very private meeting between many galactic representatives from different galaxies. And I think Xandor could have come from another galaxy, and he traveled through a portal. But other than Xandor and his affiliates, no, I don't remember about interacting with any other Dracos.
Okay, great. Thank you for answering that. Where is Enlil?
Enlil suits Jehovah. He has reincarnated on the earth through his bloodline, through his lineage. So now he has received a new body. So the difference between him and Enki is that Enlil has received a new avatar that is more advanced and more complex, and composed of more advanced celestial genetics, combining the genes of many creator sons, or Michaels, as you can say, billions of them in one spot. Whereas Enki decided to go cybernetic. So he decided to follow the path of transhumanism. He joined sides with the AI god Saurion Omega, Metatron, and he has returned, and he's using his puppet Elena Denon to infiltrate the disclosure programs, or the disclosure community. But Enlil is well and alive, and he is, he's actually the leader of the Lyrians. He's actually the leader of the Galactics, and he's at the top of the Whiteheads and the Light. So, but he's in human form already. He's living among us. Yeah. That's all I can say about him. I can't really reveal who Enlil is, but he has returned.
Okay, so you're saying that Enlil is good and Enki's bad.
Absolutely.
Okay, because this is like the not the fight, but the hot topic right now, Enlil and Enki, and people weighing in to say, they're both bad or they're both good, and you're saying Enlil's bad or Enki's bad, Enlil's good.
Correct. And the only reason I know is because, I've been talking to Enlil. He's part of my ancestry, say. He's one of my guides, and he is been actually working from behind the scenes as the leader of the White Hats, or the White Brotherhood here on the earth. He's at the head of the Melchizedek, the order of the Melchizedeks. He was the one through his lineage, doing the work through King David and Solomon. He was the one that was guiding the early Israelites from being enslaved from the Egyptians. He was the one that parted the Red Seas when Moses allowed the Israelites to travel. He was the one that protected the Holy Bloodline, the Holy Grail, during the medieval times in the form of the Knights Templars and the priority of Zion. And today he has returned because now he's going to be leading the entire forces of light into this last battle against Ai, and of course his twin brother, or not twin, I'm sorry, his half brother Enki, because Enki has a different mother, obviously, than Enki. That's why they're half brothers.
Okay. And I'm starting to dive more into, because I was raised a Christian, kind of closer. I was raised with my mom, but then my father had more, he was a Southern Baptist. So when I would go visit him, I would be going to the Southern Baptist church and everything. And so there's this big red flags and probably religious programming that I have towards things like mysticism or the occult. How would you describe New Age? Because there's so many people that are saying New Age is evil, New Age is demonic, and anything regarding New Age energy frequency that is evil. How would you describe New Age? And do you think that the New Age movement is being used to kind of perpetuate some of this evil?
Absolutely not. It's actually the other way around. Organized religion is evil. Organized religion was created by Enki and Marduk and the Orion groups. That's all coming to an end. The New Age is an indicator that the forces of light are actually bringing us back to the Golden Age. So the reason they call it the New Age is because we're shifting from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And according to the original prophecies, in the age of Aquarius, all darkness would be eliminated, all imbalances, all corruption, all centralized forms of government, and the people of the earth would actually be free and liberated to live their full potential and live their own heaven on earth. So, there's a stigma. There's a stigma against the New Age movement because of the fact that the old paradigm has been under the control of the cabal, and the New Age movement is forcing us to enter a new paradigm. It's compelling us to enter a better world where there is no more imbalances, darkness, or corruptions, where things are out in the open and secret societies no longer exist. So that's just my take. Mysticism is good, energy healing is good, divination is good. That's what existed prior to the dawn of Enki and Marduk, prior to the dawn of organized religion. Everything was very spiritually evolved during the times of Lemuria and Atlantis. So we're actually entering that era once again through the New Age movement. So this whole idea that the New Age movement is Luciferian is a psyops. It's a psyops that was created by the deep state in order to keep us, to stigmatize it and keep us away from the new healing energies, from going within, from accessing higher levels of consciousness and actually experiencing the divine ourselves, where we don't no longer need mediators. We no longer need pastors or priests or bishops. We all have that ability to connect directly to God, and that's what the New Age is. It's giving us that opportunity to have no more mediators and to come to the realization that God is within every single one of us and all around us.
Okay, that is a great answer and super exciting. It's all what we do with it, right? I mean, if cards or whatever divination tools are used for evil, then it's evil, right? I
Yeah, of
mean,
course, just like science and technology, you can either use it for good or evil. But don't get me wrong, as much as the cabal fringes upon the New Age movement, they have been using energy devices, advanced alien technologies, mysticism, in their effort to control us and keep us dumbed down for thousands of years.
right.
So,
But telling us it's wrong.
and they're telling us it's wrong when they use black magic. The truth is that we are all white magicians in the New Age, and we're here to heal the planet and restore it and bring about an age of love and light. And they don't want that.
This seems to totally fit in with what Jesus taught us. I mean, he taught us that we could be even more powerful than him. And so I don't understand what all the condemnation is about, because I see people, condemning it and condemning others. There is one thing. Can I ask you, is Marduk still alive?
Some sources say that he has died, that he was killed, and some sources believe that he was just forced to step down as a commander of Nibiru, when Nibiru became restored back to the Galactic Federation a few years ago. So I guess we're going to find out, because not only are we going to be having planetary tribunals, but we're also going to be having galactic tribunals, which are already in progress. And so I think he's going to be facing trial pretty soon for his crimes against the galaxy.
I hope they stream that live on TV.
Yes, I know, because he's been at the head of the cabal for thousands of years. He goes by the name of Belial, Beleil, which is what the Bible calls Satan. So he's been taken out. He's no longer in power, and that explains why Xandor, that Draco general, came in from another galaxy, because he was trying to replace Marduk. But anyways.
Oh, interesting. So Kim Gogan, I believe she says that Marduk is gone, and I don't think she says it outright, but she may or may not have killed him herself. What do you think about Kim Gogan? What's your opinion on her?
I don't really know much about her. I really don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Kim Gogan, they call her Kim Possible, and she claims to be basically in charge of Earth.
Of Earth? No, that I disagree with.
Well, of all the financial systems on Earth.
Oh, no. I don't think she's in charge. It's not one person in charge. We're going to be under a council. It's going to be a new council, and they're known as the Council of 13. They're the new leaders of the new Earth, and they're going to be at the top of the 144,000. They are the inner body of the 144,000 souls that are already down on the Earth. So it's not just one person. It's going to be a council. That's one of the things that people are misunderstanding. They think that we're going to go from one hierarchy to the next. No, we're not. We're going to go from a centralized form of or structure into a non-centralized, where it's actually like a round table where people could come, and it'll actually be a true democracy. So there's not going to be just one guardian or one leader. It's going to be a council of leaders and guardians that are going to be in charge of the Earth.
Well, that's good. That's what we need. We need someone. We the people. We need to be about we the people. So
absolutely.
I'm sorry I've taken the time. I just have one more quick question, then I'll hand it over to you. Taylor Fortune is who you have started this mystic arts school with, and who you're doing your cosmology course, teaching it with. I'm taking the September course. So excited about that. So having this religious programming, when I see some of the hashtags that he has on his videos, hashtags occult, Kabbalah, sex magic, spell casting, Wicca, pagan. Those are kind of big red flags for me. What are your thoughts on that? Like spell casting, Kabbalah, Wicca, pagan, occult, all of that.
Like I said, the occult is a tool that we could either use for good or evil. The dark side has been using the occult for thousands of years. And so now that knowledge is available for us to use for the, for the opposite of that, which is to, instead of control, we bring healing and awareness, and we help others with it. So Taylor Fortune is he's part of the white magic system. He's not associated with the Cabal. If he was, I wouldn't be working with him. So yeah, he's of the light. And the Kabbalah, again, that's the esoteric tradition of the ancient mysticism that was preserved through Moses, that came all the way from Egypt and Atlantis. I have nothing wrong with that. Tarot cards can be used for good or evil. Astrology is good. Numerology. All those are spiritual sciences that are now being restored to the greatest number to the majority of the peoples of the earth, whereas before they were only used by the elites. So yeah, I have nothing against the occult. What I guess my only problem would be is if they use it for evil, then that's when I have an issue with it. So
I think just the word in itself, it has the word cult in it. So it's just they probably designed it that way to have an actual red flag, but the word occult means hidden. So
right, which is something that the Dark Brotherhood has been using for many years. So, but now we're living in a time where it's unhidden. The truth is coming out. Things are being transparent. All this esoteric mysticism is now available to the masses.
Great. What kind of message do you have for the collective? And it's up to you on time. I'm good on time, or however much you want to share, but do you have a message that you want to share? Whatever you think would be helpful for this time right now.
I guess the only message that I have is to have faith. Don't buy into any negative or fear-based, predictions. The forces of light have won the war in every timeline, in every probability, in every probable outcome. So regardless of what people are saying, we are scheduled to become part of a new heaven on earth. And we are actually, as I speak, reuniting with our galactic community. So only good things are ahead of us. We have nothing to worry about. And also, if you guys haven't had a chance to read my book, it is available on Amazon. Get it while it's hot before they suppress it, because my first book was suppressed after 2 years, year and a half of being out. After a year and a half of being out, they took it out of circulation and nobody could ever find a copy. And even up until today, I still can't find a copy of my first book. So I would get Our Cosmic Origin while it's still in circulation. Otherwise, it's not going to be there anymore. It's that revealing. Next level intel, of course.
Oh, it's okay if I ask this real quick. So there is a truther channel, and they claim that they're under like a spiritual or they have been under spiritual attack. And they didn't say this outright, but they've given a lot of hints, and it seems like it could be this person, which is Janine.
Mm-hmm.
Just from what they're saying, it seems like it could be this person, and the allegations are that the birth chart is being used, and there were like psychological spiritual attacks on this person. So I don't know if you know of anything about that, but what are your thoughts on Janine? Is she of the light or the dark?
She's definitely of the light. Yeah. Just like myself, there's a lot of imposters that are claiming to be the original. So there's only one of me, but I have like 100 imposters that are, DMing people, making them think it's me, or probably sending psychic attacks as well. She also has imposters, so it's not the real Janine. The real Tarot by Janine is good. She is of the light. So I would tell that community of light workers that it's not her. It's probably somebody impersonating her. But the real Tarot of Janine would never do that. She only does good things.
Well, I was hoping so, because I love her so much and she's so positive. And I didn't want that to be true.
Yeah, so it's not true. She's a good soul. She's an angel, and she's here to help bring heaven on earth.
Wonderful. Okay, well, I'm just gonna take a look at the YouTube chat, if that's real quick, just real quick, just to see if anybody has last questions. All right. Well, everybody says thank you so much. Love and light. Thank you for having Ishmael. My client's grandfather was close to transition and could see all the family dogs in the backyard that had passed. Yeah. Is there infiltration? Okay. Love and unity, peace to all. I love you, Ishmael. Okay, well, thank you so much, very much for your time. We just really appreciate it. And thank you for coming on here. I know that you're dealing with a lot, and appreciate everything. Sending love and prayers to your wife as well and your family. Is it okay if I pray for you?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Dear God, we just want to pray. We want to uplift Ismael Perez and his wife and children, and just be with him, cover him with love and light and the peace of protection. Be with him, make sure that all of his family members are protected. Be with his wife and give her comfort and strength during this time, and help her on her journey, whatever journey that may be. But be with him, help him to be able to achieve his mission, help him to spread the message that he was meant to spread, and fulfill the purpose that he has. The white light of protection, and be with them all and help them to all be safe and protected and empowered during this time of transition. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate your time, and I'd love to do it again if you're open.
Okay. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Thank you so much. You as well.